Hello and welcome back to HLS Crypto. My name is Dan. So today, route an ICP or Internet Computer to the moon. And love fly you to the moon and back. Anyone knows that song? Get it in the comments below. It's a great song. So first of all, we'll have a quick look at Root or Router as they're called. It was onboarding the next billion users Web3 by destroying blockchain segregation. Now, there's a few things I want to touch on with regards to this. So there's 30 blockchains with their own communities and dApps, but Bridges gets hacked and it's the information between them that transmits slowly. Now there's more into the hacking side a little bit later on. So lack of secure interoperability limits the Web3 ecosystem growth because of, and it says it's fragmented liquidity, collaboration limits, security breaches, and things like that. Now cross-chain experience is easier than single-chain transactions. So Router's cross-chain intent framework allows users to access dApps from 18 plus chains, converting a multi-step user journey to a single step journey. Obviously, feel free to have a look through the white paper, come on the website yourself, go through this in a lot more detail. This is just kind of a brief overview. You can swap assets, send messages, and build IDApps across multiple chains. And there's a lot of the chains there. So Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, things like that. If you're if you are a conventional suit, you can build some boring stuff. So then it goes into a few of the other bits and pieces. If you're already a Giga Chad, you can create something that the market truly needs. So a little bit of division there, I would imagine. One chain to connect them all. If you think that you are smart enough to understand how cross-chain solutions work, this section is for you. So you can go through that as well at your leisure. We are ready to put $200,000 to anyone who can hack Router version 2 mainnet, but this is never going to happen because of validation system, proof of stake economics, and bridge level security. Now, that's bullish and bold from Router, but also it does leave that element of, however nefarious it may be, that seems more like a challenge to a hacker because there's a lot of incredibly talented hackers out there, and that seems like more of a challenge than anything else. So, I wouldn't be putting too much weight behind the 200,000 prize pool. We also have a security SWAT team that's never going to let anyone hack the system. You feel empowered as a developer when building on Router. And again, you can flick through all this yourselves. It is interesting. I will give it that. It is interesting. The team is here. You can have a little check through these if you wish. You can go onto their LinkedIn page, just have a little look around, see what you think. Funding wise is interesting. So it raised 4.6 million. Alameda Research in Hong Kong, Wintermute in London, QCP Capital in Singapore, and then Coinbase, obviously in New York, were all part of that process. Now, on X.com, it has just under 90,000 followers. That's not too bad. It's quite low, considering how big this project could potentially be. Someone called Not Telling You 73 on X.com. Follow him if you wish. What's funny is Root at this price is the equivalent to buying Matic, at 4 cents. No one's ever going to care that you bought the next Matic at 7, 8, 9, or 10 when it's over 1,000 in 2025. Being patient with Root is the fastest way to miss the boat. And Brandon White quite rightly pointed out, in my opinion, is that $1,000 per coin seems a bit insane. 14 billion market cap. I agree. I don't think it's going to 1,000 a coin, but certainly we could be seeing three figures. So at the minute, it's up 15.2% at the dip yesterday, $7.57 at the minute. What I do really like about it is its total supply is only 20 million, of which over 14 million are already in supply. So there is the 24-hour chart. If you look at the max chart, it's still coming back to where it needs to be. Its all-time high was $19.08 back in May 21, which is 60% down from where we currently sit. But if you look at the markets, so this is interesting. It's not listed on the massive exchanges yet. So you don't have Coinbase in there. You don't have Binance in there. So that could be interesting. So it's definitely got room to grow further. Three-figure coin is not beyond the realms of possibility. I actually think this is actually a really good project. I think it's very interesting. Would I be buying at this price? Probably not. I think because I still anticipate there will be a drop in crypto prices. There has to be one last pullback, I think, before we start really kind of kicking in, maybe before the halvening. But at some stage, I'm anticipating a pullback. But this isn't a terrible price. If it's going to go to three figures, it's not a terrible price. Now, one thing I wanted to point out as well was this. It is a zero mammy. Now, there's no hate from me. I think she's absolutely fine. But this is one of the people who was, I think she was XRP Maxi at first, XRP Mammy, and then I think a lot of the XRP people were annoyed that she switched boats. Like, I don't blame her for doing that at all. And then went into Quant, and then she had in 21, there was the Trinity, I think it was Quant, VXV, and ALBT. Now, they're not bad projects. I'm not saying they're bad projects at all. Because you know how much I like Quant, you know how much I like VXV, and I've made videos on ALBT, which is now NXRA. But it is interesting. So she's now a zero mammy, which is interesting as well. But if you go down, I think she's in Flux as well. You'll see that she talks about Root, which is great, So some people told me devs were suppressing Root, and now we see how Root is performing. Root for me looks like it could be, a really good choice. I think she's picked a good one there. Now, ICP. Now, this is going to be massive. Like, this is really, really big. I've done a video on this before. You can obviously go back and check that with, for a much more sort of deeper dive than what this will be. But this is just growing and growing and growing. And what does excite me as well is this. The ICP ecosystem, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Things are definitely getting built on here. This is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it is exciting. There's so many things you can go through now and have a little flick through and see what you think. There's bound to be something on there that you're really, really excited about. It is insanely big. And it has the potential to completely run Web3 internet, which is massive as a use case. You're not going to get much better than that, potentially, if adoption comes. Obviously, it has to be used, but it's insane, right? The price at the minute, $14.37. Again, this is another one of the ones that ate the dip really, really well. Now, people thinking about potential, dumps, things like that, we'll touch on in a minute. A lot of people refer to the all-time chart as being the thing that puts them off, and I understand that to a certain extent. I do, but there is reasons behind this. This up here is all down to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. Now, the price at the minute, $14.36. It's a little, I could get it right now, and I do. I think a good amount to hold in your portfolio is maybe 100 ICP, which is kind of where I want to kind of go with it. But I want it to come down a little bit. And again, like I say, I'm anticipating a pullback in crypto as a whole. So if this comes down, I'm going to be purchasing this and adding it to the portfolio because I think it's superb. This is also interesting. So this is at Perify_ICP. Go give him a follow if you wish. On ICP, the 8-year gang will not dump on you, unlike Solana. We stand proudly and truly believe ICP will dominate. Don't believe me myself, and most have locked up and staked for 8 years. Now, this is interesting. So look at the amount that's being staked for 8 years. That's a long time, right? I won't be holding them for 8 years. If I was a multimillionaire right now, then I probably would buy some and stick it in for the 8 years as kind of like maybe like a gamble play, because you're thinking that if it does do what it says it can do over that longer period of time, then the price of this would be insane. So, well done if you can live the rest of your life in the next 8 years and not require those 134 million tokens. That's, hats off to you. So I won't be staking it. I'll be holding it because, I'm going to want to buy it and sell it in the bull. And maybe repeat that again in the next bull run, but I'm under the impression that this is kind of the last big bull run. So maybe we won't be doing that come the next bear market, but we'll see. But it's interesting. That is interesting. I find that very interesting. And then here we've got ICP Whale. So again, follow him if you wish. It's a bit curious that top YouTube influencers like Coin Bureau, Altcoin Daily, Bitcoin Crypto, Ivan on Tech, Real Vision, Morning Invest, Sheldon Evans, Into Cryptoverse, and A. Pompliano remain so silent about ICP. This all starts to smell a bit fishy to me. Someone replied with George on Crypto RS has expressed that he has no interest in ICP with 500,000 subscribers. It's disappointing to pro blockchain advocates. Well, okay, so that's all well and good, but I do know of a couple. So you got Jerry Banfield, who is massive. I think he's gone all in onto ICP, which I wouldn't go all in. Obviously, I think it's best to have a nice spread portfolio, but he's gone on to ICP. So there's a lot of videos on his channel that, if you're interested in ICP, is definitely worth checking out. Also, this guy, Run My Crypto, he's a nice fella. I've spoken to him in the past. He's a very good guy. He's actually catching me up on subscribers. So I shouldn't really say it, but I'm a nice guy too. So if you do like his content, go and subscribe to him. And in the comments of the video, say HLS says hi. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. But again, he's starting to talk about ICP and has done for a little while now. So there is people talking about it back on my video. So down here, 2 months ago, well, it's nearly 3 months ago now, I made an ICP video. And then a bit further up, I've done another one about being undervalued, which turns out to be surprisingly accurate, right? So there are people talking about it, and I completely appreciate. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a top YouTuber. I'm just a guy kind of plotting his journey and sharing with you guys how that's looking. But it is interesting. And both of these projects, I think, can go to the moon. I think ICP is slightly the better of the two. But in terms of games, maybe Root is the way in this regard. But super excited about both. But certainly ICP, for me, it's looking like it's one of them frustrating ones that you really want to get into. And I should have got more back in the day. Didn't. Now I need to get some more for sure, because I didn't follow my own advice like a bit of a muppet. But that's okay. That's okay. You live, you learn, you keep going forward, right? Obviously, none of it's financial advice. You have to choose what you want. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on ICP, though, over the coming days and weeks. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. Always appreciate when you guys do that. In terms of subscribers, we're really trying to push towards that 3,000 number now. I think we're about 130 away, maybe 130 away. So it's getting closer. So I do appreciate everyone who's taking the time to subscribe, taking the time to view, like, share anything that you've done to help the channel. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, have an amazing day, have an amazing evening. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.